Hello, everybody, and welcome to our presentation today. Today, we're going to be introducing for the second chapter, which is Project Management Process Group in the PMP examination certifications for your successful progressions. So today, we're going to be looking on different enterprise environmental factors and the organizational structures and how the projects they operate into we call it a multi-environmental, which is could be external environment and internal environment, which it affects factors that affects your organization from being progressing. So we can see that those factors, they could be either favorable, right, or they could be unfavorable. So you might have internal factors such as your policy and procedures and organization, such as the team formulation, right, such your organizational structure, such way the process, the methodology you use internally. All of these factors, they affect as well your team and affects your organization, right? You do have as well external factors that might could be unfavorable, such as the competitors, right, such as the economical crisis, such as the challenges of the company to undertake in order to compete and all that. So those are also external environmental factors. So we divide the environmental factors. We might have enterprise environmental factors, and we might have organizational process asset. So enterprise environmental factor, right, which it is from the naming, it originates from the outside the enterprise, okay, and enterprise, okay, it has to deal with all the internal factors and the external factors, right, while the organization process as it deals with your corporate knowledge, skills, and the policy and the procedures and historical records informations to be given. So when we have the influences factors that it governs the organization, it's been divided up into enterprise environmental factors as well into enterprise internal organizational process asset, in which your enterprise environmental factors are subdivided further into external and internal factors, right, while your internal organization is being divided into process, policies, procedures, corporate knowledge base. So when we look onto the enterprise environmental factors internal to the organization, the factor that might emphasize into whether the organization will succeed or it will does not succeed, right? It could be the first factor is your organizational culture, the composition, the structure, and the governance. Okay, so does your organization, your CEO, he has a certain vision that he needs to accomplish, and when we look on visions, right, they're actually the goals that they need to be achieved. So it is the we call it the sightful looking on whatever he oversees. What do I need to go? Where I am and where do I need to go? So the mission is the way you're going to accomplish that vision, your objectives, right? The values. So what are the values do I have? What are going to be does the company being known by its value, right? What does it provide to the community, right? What are the ethical evaluations that are looking into the organization? What do I believe into? How is my compromising of my culture? Okay, I don't differentiate, I don't discriminate, right? Norms, right? Leadership style. I have PMs and I have as well team leaders whom they lead the team, right? And you should be able to assist them and direct them on the way they're going to procure in their career, the way you do things, and how to understand the work and to get it accomplished. Hierarchy and authority, who reports to whom, and that's a very important part in any organization today. Your organizational break structure should be there. Relationships, the sort of organization. I'm operating into a matrix organization, a strong matrix organization, a weak matrix organization. So how is the project management level authority in those organization? Projectized organization, balanced matrix, or I have a mix of the organization, right? And we do, whether it's a called composite, right? Or do I operate into a functional organization, okay, where decisions are very hard and where there's no project management exists, it's just an expeditor who exists there. Again, the wheat matrix organization where we have only a project coordinator where the project management is not there. Ethics and code of conduct, how do we look into it? Then we have other factors. Internal is the geographical distribution. Is my team widespread? Right. So we're trying to perform a mitigation to that risk by performing virtual teams, by trying to make war rooms, locations, co-locations, shared system and cloud computers so that we can reach to each other throughout the network. Infrastructure. Does my company I'm working with, it does have the standard infrastructure? That means I have a network, that means I have laptops, I have resources are in place where the resources can utilize. That's very important. Information technology software, do my company provide with tools helps the project management to perform with scheduling, such as the MS project, such as the Primavera, such as the Slack, right, such as the Jira, right? So resource availability, art and resources right here, it's not only just human resources. So do we have the equipment? Do I have the furnitures that will be applicable? And then do I have the human resource, the humanity resource who's going to be working onto the project? Whether he's an analyst, a designer, an architect, an engineer, a programmer, even software, right, in all that industry. Then we have the external environment that affects the organizations, and that is the market-based condition, right? So market-based condition, it means the competitors, right, with whom they are sneaking and they're trying to compete with me. The market share, who has the highest market share, right, in between the companies? So take an example like Pepsi and Coca-Cola. Who has the market share? Are they equal? Okay, that means they are collocated their business in different regions, right? Of course, because they are multinational, right? But who has much? Brand recognition, okay? Although, as we said, that Pepsi and Cola, they have already brand names, right? But still they perform branding further or always to keep their name on the top. Similar take McDonald's and Hardee's, right? Or Burger King, right? So we can see a difference in between who has the highest rank of the brand. Trademark copyrights and all that to belonging to your objects. Another environmental factor external is your social culture and influence and issue. Okay, so the political climate and the codes of conduct and the perception. Okay, so we need to look as well onto the political climate. How do I have economic crisis in place? Do we have wars? Do we have that affects the business? Right, legal restrictions. Okay, the country laws. It could be a risk, right, in order to start a project, to start a business, right? So all of that, security, data protections, right? Commercial database. Do I have today a commercial database about my competitors, about the market I'm going to penetrate and all that? It's very important to have that such information to reduce the level of the risks that could affect your organization. Again, your academic research, right? Does the company put a place in investment in order to spend for research work? Okay, right. And then we have the government or industry standards. Okay, so it looks at the regulatory agency regulations, okay, related to the production, the environment, the quality of the workship. So what are the industry standards we're adopting, right? Financial considerations. Okay, so another factor it might affect is your currency. Due to economic crisis, so you might have your own currency does not have a value compared to other currencies. And physical environment includes the working conditions and the weather and the constraints. So the environment we're operating in, is it a tight organizations that there is no policy in place, just restricted rules, and there's no motivations to the team to what they do. So organization process assets, which we talked about, it is used for historical records. It is used to provide with plan, process, policies, procedures, knowledge base, okay, to a specific performing organization, okay, and those assets, right, are part which contribute into the influence of the project. They include artifacts, practice, knowledge, and the performing organization that be used in order to govern or to execute a project. So the OPA, it includes all the lessons learned, the historical records, okay, it includes also about information about your schedule, your risk data, your earning value data, Okay, OP8 includes the policies and procedures and the corporate knowledge base. Now, project management, as we know, as a term, it is the application knowledge of skills, tools, and techniques, right, in order to meet the project requirements and to achieve those activities. And then, when we look into a process, it's similar to a project as well. Project is a temporary endeavor, has a beginning and an end, right? And in order to deliver a product, a service, or a result. Similarly, a process, it is a set of interrelated actions or activities, okay, that are performed, okay, to achieve a prescribed set of product results and with them. So it is interrelated action and activities that is used in order to produce a product, service, or result similar to as a project. So when we look on Schubert and Deming on the concept, right, of plan, do, check, and act, okay, so you will find that in the process and initiation of the project is similar to the project that goes, it's start the project, okay, planning the project, you have the plan, executing the project, it means doing the project, okay, monitoring, controlling, it means check and act, closing the project, it is the end of the project. Okay, so we do have project process groups, right, which is the initiation, the 5 process groups that goes initiation, planning, executing, mount, control, and closure. So initiation stage, it is the process which is defines and authorizes the project or a project phase. And there are many activities that it's been undergone into the initiations, right? Some which is like selecting the project manager, identifying the company culture and existing systems, measuring objectives, right? And many others. In order to continue with the course, it would be nice to have the journey with us, right? And you can contact us anytime, and we will give you all the detailed chapters with exams and explanations and practice, and to get you PMP certified, and as well to practically applying the project, how to manage your organization and your project, and how to coordinate and direct your. This is Muhammad Ahmed Zaki. It has been a great pleasure.